Hi everybody, today we're going to be looking at the next tutorial for MYOB. We're going to be covering the advanced components for payroll, and later on we'll be looking at the advanced side of your business activity statements. So for now, what you've done up to date with your payroll in MYOB is we've created 2 employees. And we've customized some categories just to give you a bit of an idea as to what may be appropriate and what may not be appropriate. We've looked at 2 very basic examples where you've got 2 full-time employees, but in a real business setting, you'll have other variables as well, such as casual employees. You'll have employees that are entitled to different entitlements, and you'll be having employees who'll be utilizing their entitlements, such as taking a day off for personal leave or taking holidays. So we're going to endeavor to look at those different scenarios and how MYOB handles the entitlements and the paying out of those entitlements, and how the accounting side reflects that. So we're going to be looking at a few different scenarios. We're going to be looking at first of all, customizing our payroll categories once again to accommodate. We're then going to be looking at an RDO exercise, roster day off exercise, which will give you an idea as to how the entitlements work. Then we're going to move across into our annual leave and our personal leave entitlements. Then we're going to be looking at payment summary reports. Now with STP, that's no longer required, but I'm going to show you how MYOB deals with it on a manual basis if you wanted to generate a manual payment summary report for your employees. That's quite important because the process of end of financial payroll year, you'll have to look at creating a new payroll year in order to keep processing people's pay in the new financial year. So we'll be looking at that end of year process that's required. We'll look at that, and we'll look at some other components of payroll, such as payroll tax as well. So that's essentially what we're going to be doing, and I'm going to try to create maybe 2 or 3 videos for each of these components, just to give you a bit of an idea, just to give you an ability to practice what I'm covering each part of the video. So first things first, I'm going to have a look at what we've done so far and see if we need to make any modifications. So at this stage, all we've done is in the initial stages of the initial exercise for payroll, we went up to Easy Setup Assistant, went into payroll and customized some of these settings. We put GIO, Super, 38-hour week. Nothing needs to change here. The linked accounts are all the same. So that's all good. We don't have to worry about making any modifications here. What we need to do though is we've got new employees in the advanced side, so we need to enter those new employees in. So I'm just opening up the document that contains our new employees. I believe it's in the advanced payroll. It's going to be assignment 19. And you're going to have Mary Allen, which we already have. We're going to have Jamie Smith, who's a casual employee. Then we're going to have Freddie Kruger and Amanda. So we're going to have those following employees. So what I'm going to do first thing is I'm going to just create one more employee, and I'm going to then pop the video on hold, and then I'll get you guys to continue with the other employees, and upon my return we'll continue from there. Now you already know how to do these steps as per the previous exercise, so I'm just going to do the first one just to refresh our memory. So we go to employees over here, we go to new. We've already got Mary now, and we'll leave the Mary now and there. We'll modify those categories in a moment. So this employee is called Jamie Smith. Smith surname, Jamie first name. We've got an address of 22 Short Street, Springfield, New South Wales. postcode 2760. We've got a phone number 9634 7986. We don't have an email address. Payroll details, date of birth 30th of the 10th 87. This is important because it's required for the STP as well as superannuation. Without a date of birth, we can't process that information. We don't have a male or female, so we're going to leave that as it is. We've got a start date, which is 8th of the 5th, 10. Start date's important because that will work out or determine our entitlements that we need to bring across. Individual, yes. Now this person's a temporary casual. Now be aware, once again, this is for single touch payroll purposes. If you put permanent here, the award classification is going to be impacted, because if you're permanent, your award rate is different to than if you're a casual. I know this contradicts itself, but typically a permanent person will either be part-time or full-time. So I'm going to change it to temporary and make it casual, because that will change the hourly rate and it will include the casual loading, which is at the moment 25% for most awards. So be aware of that. Employment classification is important as well, although not provided here. This is mandatory in single touch payroll. So I'm just going to make something up here. V1, which is the manufacturing award for level 1. I'm going to modify that. V1 manufacturing associated award. Normally, I would have selected to be printed in an email, but we don't have a person's email address. I'm going to leave that blank. Wages, they're on an hourly casual rate, so we go here. Hourly rate is $20.20, which is below the award at the moment, but just for the sake of the exercise, we're going to leave it as it is. It's weekly. Expected hours, this person's casual. I'm going to change it just to 25 hours because they're casual. In terms of entitlements, they're not entitled to holiday pay casual because holiday pay and sick pay because they're casual. So I'm not going to worry about anything apart from their base hourly rate that they're going to get paid. Superannuation is compulsory. We've got Australian Super as per Super Choice, which is the employee's choice of super fund. Australian Super, and normally we would have a US side that we need for this superannuation company. We need to enter that in here. That's normally a must, but we don't have that, so I'm not going to worry about it. That didn't go through. I'm going to try again. Okay, so it's trying to do a search. Australia Super Fund. It's not working. Okay, so let's go here. Don't know why that's not working. Normally it should. Okay, maybe we need to sign up. That's the reason why it's not allowing us to put that through. Okay, so it's saying we've already got a super fund. Why isn't it allowing me to? Here it is. It took its time to appear. All right, so that worked. Just need to be refreshed. So that's good. We've selected super. We normally need a membership number as well for this employee. That normally goes in here. We don't have that provided in the exercise. We're not going to worry about it. They're casual, not entitled to any of that. Deductions not entitled. Employer expense. Do we have work cover? Yes, we do. So we're going to put a tick next to work cover insurance. Taxes. This is compulsory. 222, 456, 789. And we've got BSP and bank details for this employee. So we're going to go to electronic. Pay 062 Commonwealth 456 and 561 689 45, and this is Jamie's bank account. All right, so that's the first one done. I'll get you to continue with the remaining few employees, and we will continue after you do that. Hi everybody, I imagine that you have entered the remaining employees in the system. Don't be too concerned if you have not been able to work out correctly the entitlements, because we're actually going to go through all this in a moment and look at making sure that they've been selected correctly, right? So although what we've done is we've selected the entitlements as we believe is fit, we're going to go through and look at this in the next few exercises. So I thought I'd just point that out. So what we've done so far is we've done assignment 19. Now we're going to look at assignment 20 for advanced payroll. And assignment 20 looks at payroll categories once again, setting up and make sure that the categories are correct. I'm looking at the exercise here. It wants us to confirm that the holiday pay and the sick pay regular rate is 1. I know that it is, but I'll just show you where to check that. So if you go over to here, you go to payroll categories, and if you have a look at those entitlements, so annual leave pay, for example, it's regular rate multiplied by 1. Okay, so that's all good. It also wants us to change the holiday leave accrual entitlements percentage. So if we go to entitlements over here and we go annual leave, at the moment it's set at 7.962, right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to change this, because this was preset based on a 40-hour week. Now our company works on a 38-hour week. So if we leave the setting, or leave the percentage as to what it was, the entitlement calculation is going to be off. And what we've done is we've put on the exercise how I derived that 8.097% calculation. And what we're going to do later on is ensure that the employees that attract this entitlement have been ticked as well. Now, the reason Jamie hasn't been ticked is because they are a casual. They don't pick up this entitlement. Okay, but we'll look at that in a moment in more detail. The next one is Mary's additional $50 super. I believe that's been set up correctly. Once you've changed that, you need to click on OK. So if we go to superannuation here, I believe this has all been set up correctly. Additional super for Mary, $50. That's all being selected correctly. So that's all good. This is all in the previous exercise that we covered. So that's all good as well. Nothing needs to be changed there. 1.5% work cover insurance. I believe that was all done in the previous exercise as well, but I'll have a quick look. So we've got union fees, $150 per year. This was only for, actually no, it was for the employees, I believe. So that's good. Look at expenses, work cover, 1.5%. So that's all good. And every employee has insurance. workers' insurance, so that's good as well. We just want to check the taxes account's been selected correctly as well. I just have a look at this liability account, pay as you go withholding liability. This is quite important, and it's set correctly as well. Okay, that's good. All right, so that's all fine. That's all I wanted to check. This was all done in the previous exercise, so nothing has to be done really here. We'll move on now across to processing these employees to make sure that they've been entered in correctly so far. We go to process payroll. It's saying that payroll run was saved. We want to do a new payroll one, and I want to pay all employees. Now it may ask me for new financial year because it's now the 1st of the 7th. So then that's fine. It went through. That's good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go through and modify the hours. So if I click on Amanda first, we've got her hours that she worked for the week, 32.5 normal hours, and she worked overtime 0.5. So we don't have overtime here. So that means now I'm going to have to go through and select those categories. So now I'm going to cancel this. I'm going to close and actually I shouldn't have saved it. But anyway, I'm going to go payroll categories. I'm going to go to overtime category 0.5, and I'm going to go to employees and assign this to Amanda, and I'm going to assign it to Freddie, and Mary's already been ticked. Alan's salary doesn't get overtime. Jamie doesn't get overtime either. So that's okay. So we've clicked on OK. We've okayed that. Close this one off. Go back to process payroll. I'm going to continue, and this should bring up what I was just going through in a moment. And I'm going to hope now. No, it hasn't recorded the change. So I'm going to close this off. I'm going to have to start a new payroll run. So process payroll, new payroll run, same dates, next. Okay, so if I go to Amanda now, I've got the overtime category there. I'm going to go DD. I'm going to pay her directly through the check account. So I'm going to change the check over here rather than electronic. She's 32.5 hours, and overtime is 2.5 hours. So that's good. So this has been calculated. Union fees, yes. Pay-as-you-go tax, yes. Annual leave, we're going to look at that in a moment, so I'm not too concerned about this calculation, but the entitlements are coming through. Work cover is correct, and we've got a superannuation guarantee 9.5%, liability, and then an expense. So that's all good. Click on OK. We'll go to Freddie now. So once again, I'm going to go DD, direct debit, pay for our check account, 30 hours normal, and time and a half overtime. Union fees, taxes are there, accruals are there, work cover 1.5 for the year is there, superannuation's there. So that's all good as well. We'll go to Mary now, and I'm going to go to DD. Now Mary is on 36.5 hours. 36.5 hours. 6 hours overtime. So not this public holiday 2.5%, sorry, 2.5. We're looking at the 1.5 overtime of 6 hours. So that's correct. Personal leave, calculation, additional super, $50. Yes, that's good. Work cover is calculated, and superannuation has been calculated. So that's all good as well. The only change I'm going to make here is check. Alan, we don't have to do anything here apart from change where the money is going to be drawn from, which is the check account. Salary as per normal. Superannuation and everything else has been calculated correctly, which is good. And Jamie is a casual, so we have to do just modify his hours to 25.5 hours, which is what he worked this week. He gets insurance and superannuation, and his taxes are being calculated. So that's all good. That's what we want to see. The only thing I didn't do is change where the money is coming from. We're paying him through our check account. So that's all good. Now I'm going to record that, record the 5 pay slips, and I'm going to now have a look at my report. So I'm going to hit next and finish. I'm going to go to reports, payroll, and have a look at the first payroll activity summary report and confirm that the figures are correct. Taxes 375, which is good. Now the reason why the taxes have come down, I'm going to check why. Jamie Smith's taxes is $40. It could be because of the tax-free threshold that we've actually just received in this financial year. I've got a feeling that's the reason why our taxes have come down. And I'm going to have a look at our expenses as well. So I'm just going to pop this video on hold and analyze that. Hi everyone, yes, I've confirmed that the report is accurate. The current financial year we have had a change in taxes, hence these figures are absolutely correct. So that's all good. Now we will look at our superannuation and our pay-as-you-go accounts as well. So I'm going to go to accounts list over here. I'm going to the liabilities, and I'm going to be looking at, first of all, our superannuation 1 liability account, which should be 52286. And okay, so the reason why I've got a little bit more here is because of the other 2 employees that we've paid. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to my transaction journal, and if you haven't done this already, go ahead and do it. We've got Mary and Alan that we paid in the basic exercise for payroll. All right, so I'm going to delete these 2 old pay slips just to clean things up. So basically all I'm going to be left with now is the 5 new pay slips that we just processed a moment back. So I've just deleted those old ones. I'm going to go and have a look at those figures again. If I go to pay accounts list, I go to liabilities again, and I go to superannuation. So now we've got 338 and 46 cents, which is correct. And I'll go to there. That tells me how much pay-as-you-go tax I've withheld from my employees that needs to be paid back to the taxation office. So this also confirms that what we've done till date is correct. So that's all good. So we've done that, we've processed that. So now what we're going to be looking at in the next exercise is how to work out your rostered day off entitlement. So I'm going to stop the video from here so it doesn't become too long, and I'll start it soon, and then we'll start with that next exercise.